The reorganization of government under the climate agenda. In recent years, there has been a noticeable shift in the role of government, moving from serving the interests of its citizens to serving the agenda of the climate. This transition involves not only reclassifying the government's duties but also rethinking its relationship with its citizens. The government, once a body charged with safeguarding the welfare and rights of the people, is now a tool for the climate's interests. The new governmental focus mandates taxation, penalties, and various impositions on citizens, shifting the state's priorities to a form of governance that benefits the climate over the individual. Footnote: This section highlights the shift in governmental priorities, moving from citizen-centric governance to climate-centric governance, where the climate's needs supersede individual rights. The taxation and penalties of climate-centric governance. As the government reorients itself to serve the climate, individuals are now taxed and penalized for actions that were once considered their rights. This new system involves a reclassification of all non-climate entities, including citizens, as subordinates or chattel. The purpose of the people's labor has now been repurposed to benefit the climate, as determined by government policy. These changes mark a profound shift in the traditional social contract, where citizens' rights are no longer paramount, and their labor serves a higher, non-human agenda. Footnote: This section discusses the reclassification of citizens under the new climate-focused government system, where individuals are viewed as resources to be exploited for the climate's benefit. The end of citizen rights, climate worship and compliance. Under this new order, citizens have effectively lost their rights to petition, object, or influence government policy. They are relegated to a position where their primary function is to produce labor for the climate's benefit. Compliance with climate policy is no longer a choice, it is an expectation, with those who comply being rewarded with privileges, such as membership in the Climate Worship Party. However, this membership comes with significant moral and ethical compromises, as members are required to report any non-compliant individuals to the government. Footnote: This section addresses the suppression of individual rights in favor of a compliance-based system, where membership in the Climate Worship Party grants privileges in exchange for loyalty and surveillance of others. Exemption from extermination, the role of the Climate Worship Armband. A key aspect of this climate-driven governance is the introduction of the Climate Worship Armband, a symbol that indicates loyalty to the state's climate agenda. Membership in this party offers the privilege of exemption from what the government terms extermination for those not in compliance. Those who resist or question the agenda may find themselves labeled as expendable, with dire consequences for non-compliance. This creates a stark division between those who are seen as serving the climate and those who are discarded. Footnote: This section highlights the chilling consequences of not adhering to the climate-focused government system, where loyalty is rewarded with protection, and dissent is met with extreme punishment. The climate as the ultimate authority. The ultimate authority in this new system is no longer the people or the government but the climate itself. The government operates under the assumption that the climate cannot change, and if it does, the responsibility for this change will be placed squarely on the citizens. This doctrine transforms the climate from a passive natural force to an active and absolute power over government policy and citizen lives. The state enforces this narrative, and any deviation from it is punished harshly, with the citizen's role reduced to mere servitude to the climate's whims. Footnote: This section describes the elevation of the climate to a position of supreme authority, with government policies directly aligned to climate control, and citizens required to uphold this narrative without question. The punishment for dissent, government-sponsored death squads. In this dystopian future, dissent against the climate-centric government is not only discouraged, it is punishable by death. The government has established death squads to ensure that citizens who question the new order are swiftly dealt with. These enforcers are positioned at strategic locations to monitor and control the population, reinforcing the totalitarian nature of the regime. The government's actions have redefined criminality and punishment, focusing on eradicating those who stand in the way of the climate agenda. Footnote: This section illustrates the extreme measures taken by the government to suppress dissent and enforce compliance, including the establishment of death squads to punish nonconformity. Conclusion: the new government of the climate. In conclusion, the reorganization of government under the climate agenda represents a radical departure from the traditional role of the state as a protector of individual rights. Instead, government has become an enforcer of climate compliance, where citizens are subjugated to the will of the climate and stripped of their rights. This new system uses fear, punishment, and control to maintain order, creating a society where the climate is the ultimate authority. The implications of this shift are profound, suggesting a future where individual sovereignty is entirely surrendered to an external, non-human force. Footnote: the conclusion reiterates the fundamental transformation of government into an entity that serves the climate's interests above all else, where individual rights are sacrificed for the sake of climate worship and compliance.